Good evening, Hustlin Rebels fan, and welcome into another very exciting games for your UNLV Rebels baseball team as they take on a MAC team, Western Michigan Broncos, coming into town here. First pitch slated just 10 minutes out here. Umpires are ready for the lineups to be called. National anthem coming up soon. Will Lewin here, joined alongside Ben Howdeshell. Ben, we had a great showing last weekend against the Bradley Braves. Ended up taking the series and sweeping the Braves. What are kind of the takeaways from that series that you want to see play a factor in tonight's game against Western Michigan?
So far through 7 games, UNLV pitchers have walked 52 total batters, whereas their opponents have only walked 41 UNLV batters. I'd like to see UNLV take some more walks. I'd like to see the pitchers give up less walks. I want to give up so many more, so many free base runners and allow potential scoring opportunities.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there. And I mean, when you really look at kind of how the games went down against Bradley, that first one was kind of the only, like real big example where UNLV's backs were kind of against the wall there. And, to now be in a brand new series here with Western Michigan, we've got the game tonight, a midday game tomorrow starting at 12 p.m. That's going to be a very interesting one here at Early Wilson Stadium. So, you'd like to imagine that we can really hone in on getting ahead early, especially a Western Michigan team that really hasn't amounted to much here to, start off the year. They had that series against Omaha. They dropped both games. They played 3 games against Pitt, only winning one of those games. They are coming off of a road trip against UC San Diego, which they were able to find a win against. But outside of that, there hasn't really been a whole lot of success from Western Michigan. And, you look at their pitching staff, not only this year, but last year as well. Last year they finished with a team combined 7 ERA from the pitching staff. Where are the kind of weak spots in your personal opinion when UNLV is facing this Western Michigan team? Where do you see kind of the breaks in the armor essentially for the Broncos and how we can kind of exploit different kind of tactics against this Broncos team?
Last year they left 430 runners on base while allowing 366 runs to score by opponents. High ERA, few chances. It's just they gotta be able to take more advantage of those scoring opportunities.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And again, like you said, like again, over 400 runners left on base last year for the Broncos. Definitely not what you want to see, especially when their opponents only scored 366 against them. So should be an interesting matchup tonight against Western Michigan. National anthem and those starting lineups going to be coming up right after this break. National anthems finally concluded. Lineups have been announced here at early Wilson Stadium, and here's a quick breakdown for you. Western Michigan Broncos going to be batting first. Tanner Malley going to be starting things off, quickly followed behind Drew Howard. Michael Maloney batting in the 3 spot with Jacob Rowell batting in the 4 spot. We've got Josh Polubinski batting 5th and Connor Ostrander batting 6th. Then we've got Mason Pilarski batting 7th and Mark Menike as the penultimate hitter. And batting last for the Western Michigan Broncos is going to be number 27, Nolan Zajac. For your Hustlin Rebels, playing first base tonight is going to be Johnny Rodriguez, number 24. At second base is going to be Marcos Rosales. The shortstop going to be Cooper Sheff, and at the hot corner is going to be Drew Berrigan. In the outfield, going left to right, we've got Jack Salmon, Jaden Sanchez, and Nin Burns II. Behind home plate tonight is going to be number 2, Aiden Garcia, and on the bump today is going to be number 30, Reese Lewick, the senior right-handed pitcher. We'll break down the order of this lineup when the UNLV Hustlin Rebels come up to bat, and the same thing for the fielding positions for the Western Michigan Broncos. But we're about slated to go here, Ben. It should be a very exciting one. Again, some action for the Hustlin Rebels tonight as the Broncos come into town to Sin City. A clear and beautiful night here at early Wilson Stadium, and Reese Lewick is probably itching and rearing to go here.
I hate to beat a dead. What's the time?
Getting a couple more warm-up pitches in for him. Umpire looks on kind of longingly, waiting for this to kind of go by, but pretty good attendances here at early Wilson Stadium, as you can kind of somewhat see at the bottom of your screen here. It doesn't really tell the whole story here, but down the first and third base side, definitely a lot more Western Michigan fans and families that I would have thought would be out here. But they've made it out here. Our PA announcer Luke has officially called it baseball o'clock, and you know that first pitch is coming at any moment here. Tanner O'Malley going to lead things off here for Western Michigan. Reese Lewick taking a quick peek at his little cheat sheet that's on his left wrist. Gets the pitch, comes set, takes a look over at his third baseman, Drew Berrigan, and the first pitch of the game is going to be lined right back up the middle for a base hit for Malley. Right into the action, not the result that Reese Lewick wanted on that first at-bat, but Tanner O'Malley's got the hitting already started there for the Western Michigan Broncos.
Yeah, this guy's been tearing it up so far this season. He's batting 500, 11 hits, 3 RBIs. I mean, you kind of had to expect that throwing a first pitch fastball like that right down the middle.
Yeah, and now it's going to be Drew Howard stepping up to the plate here, trying to follow up the success of his teammate Malley. The first pitch from Lewick is going to be hit again just over the reach of Cooper Sheff, the shortstop. Malley will move over to second base, and we've got 2 pitches, 2 hits here for the Broncos. Not the start that Reese Lewick wanted here in this game.
No, they're looking very aggressive. They're just first pitch swinging it. Lewick didn't have his best stuff his first start of the season. Giving up 5 runs, 4 earned, and walks 5. So they're going to be aggressive. They're trying to get as many opportunities as they can before you get into that UNLV bullpen.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're seeing Michael Maloney stepping up. There's the first pitch, but it's not going to find the zone. It'll start off with a 1-0 count. So the first 2 pitches of the game, base hit. And now the next pitch that finally finds the catcher's mitt is a ball outside. Reese Lewick gets his pitch. He's not going to take a look at the base runners. Now he does over at second base. Comes to his windup. The pitch finally finds the zone. Bit of a slow strike call there from an umpire. Definitely likes to exaggerate those kinds of strike calls. It looks like it's going to be one of those nights tonight. Home plate umpire is Jeffrey Macias. As Reese Lewick gets his next pitch, the 1-1 is going to be swung on and missed down in the zone. Michael Maloney not able to catch up to that one. And Reese Lewick slowly starting to work his way back here with 2 strikes on the board.
Yeah, you saw how aggressive those first 2 batters were. And being aggressive, that's going to lead to a couple, making some bad attempts at swinging at pitches.
As that pitch is swung on and fouled off by Michael Maloney. Michael Maloney hitting .435 entering this game. Definitely one of the more predominant bats for Western Michigan. This top of the lineup has just been so good, but the rest just haven't been able to bring these guys in. That pitch swung on, lifted high in the air. Johnny Rodriguez, the first baseman, going over towards his dugout, is able to catch the ball in foul ground, and we've got our first out in the inning.
Much needed for Reese Lueck. Trying to, after the first two base hits, you were trying to settle in here, not give up any runs.
It's going to be Jacob Rold stepping up to the plate now. The first lefty Reese Lueck will face tonight. Rold batting 100 on the season so far. Reese Lueck taking a look back at second base. The pitch going to be swung on and fouled behind. Early Wilson Stadium stands here right into the parking lot. We've seen this kind of position before from Western Michigan in their games leading up to this, especially against UC San Diego. A lot of runners on base early in the game, just not been able to cash in. The 0-1 pitch from Lueck finds the outer part of the zone for a strike, quickly makes it 0-2 here, and Ben, it seems as though Reese Lueck is making a pretty good turn here after giving up those first two base hits to start off the inning. What do you think?
Yeah, he's definitely settling in. He's definitely found what's working for him, and they just don't have an answer for it yet.
The 1-2 pitch swung on, drilled over to right field. Nin Burns, the second, is going to be camping under it and easily makes the catch. The runner from second, Malley, is going to tag up and get to third. Now the runner from first is trying to tag up, and he is in there safely as well. A double tag there from Western Michigan. A bit of a delayed one from the runner on first, Howard. Kind of let Malley get from second to third, and then decided to commit to second base once he saw that throw from Burns go all the way to third base.
Yeah, we know Nin Burns has a really strong arm out there. That was not the strongest throw. That kind of bounced into third base, and that allowed that runner, Howard, to be able to kind of make a judgment call and tag up from first going to second.
It's going to be Josh Palubinski stepping in to try and cash in maybe one of these runners here as they're both in scoring position, but he swings and misses at the first pitch for a strike. Now Lueck, eyes set on third base, comes through his windup. The pitch swung on and missed yet again. An 81-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch that just perfectly hits the outside part of the plate, just out of reach for Palubinski.
This is really big for Reese Lueck right here to be able to get out of this inning unscathed. It shows that you have kind of faith in your outfielders and your fielders that they can kind of have you behind their backs and just kind of, even if you give up some solid contact, they're going to be out there and be able to make plays for you.
Yeah, he tried to go back with the off-speed pitch there on the outside part of the zone, but Palubinski not falling for it. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. What a showing from Reese Lueck, the starting pitcher. 2 hits to start the inning, immediately retires the next 3 batters. That is a professional pitcher right there, and that is how it's done. It's a 0-0 ball game as Reese Lueck is able to get himself out of the inning as we head to the bottom of the first. Back here in the bottom of the first inning, Rebels able to strand 2 runners on the board for the Western Michigan Broncos. And it's going to be Reggie Bussey leading things off here for the UNLV Hustlin Rebels. The first pitch he sees from the starting pitcher, Wyseb, is a ball outside.
Bussey hasn't been given too much playing time, but with his short stint for the team this season, he has 4 hits.
That pitch swung on over to the second base side. Second baseman able to snag it, throw over to first base in time. Great play there by the starting second baseman for Western Michigan, Drew Howard, able to get over to his right-hand side, pick that ball up off the floor, and throw it over to his first baseman, Mark Menike. So now the hitter for your Hustlin Rebels is going to be the second baseman, Marcos Rosales. He's hitting .478 on the season so far. The pitch from Wizzup is going to not quite find the zone. Quickly makes it 1-0 here. Looks at his armband for the pitch schematics on his right. Comes through his windup. The pitch swung on and drifted high in the air. Second baseman and right fielder giving chase for it for Western Michigan. It'll be the right fielder in Connor Ostrander that's able to camp under it and make the catch. It's going to be Aiden Garcia going to be batting for the Hustlin Rebels right now. I saw Drew Berrigan going to pick up the bat. I mistakenly thought he was the one going to be hitting up next, but Drew Berrigan will be following Aiden Garcia after this bat. Then it'll be Nin Burns the second, Johnny Rodriguez, Cooper Sheff in the 7th spot, Jack Salmon batting 8th, and Jaden Sanchez batting 9th. The pitch not quite finding the outside part of the zone. It'll be a 1-0 count here for Wizzup. Wizzup throwing to his catcher, Nolan Zajac, as he gets his 1-0 pitch. In it comes. Finally finds that outside part of the zone. It's quickly 2-0 here, or 1-1.
Garcia had a really good third game, had 4 hits, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs scored in that 29 ball game.
Yeah, definitely a great piece of showing there from Aiden Garcia, as he kind of was more of the quiet hitters from this weekend. Obviously there were some big fiery bats like Drew Berrigan and Nin Burns on the Friday, and then especially Marcos Rosales throughout the entire weekend, especially that Saturday. But Aiden Garcia just consistently getting on base, and not only that, but driving in runs as well, the most important part of the game. The 2-2 pitch from Wizzup, not going to find the zone. It'll be outside and a ball for a count of 3-2 here, with 2 outs quickly recorded here from Western Michigan. It's almost as though the pitcher Wizzup kind of took some notes as what Reese Louie did in that first inning, giving up those 2 hits and saying, I don't want to do any of that. Let's get my team right back in the inning. The 3-2 pitch, called, strike 3, outside part of the zone. Aiden Garcia not too sure about that call from the home plate umpire, Jeffrey Macias, but it's going to go down as a strikeout in the books there for Aiden Garcia to start off his night. Still a 0-0 ball game as we head into the top of the second inning. Second inning of Hustlin Rebels baseball here. Still a tied ball game at 0-0. Connor Ostrander stepping into the batter's box here for the Broncos. Reese Luke still up on the mound for your Hustlin Rebels. First pitch, swung on, lifted high in the air down the third base line. Going to be a pretty snarly catch there from the left fielder, Jack Salmon, laying out for it just off of your screen here. Had to somewhat get into a base running slide in order to grab that one, and is able to record the first out in foul territory. Now, there's a guy where you want to talk about, as a pitcher, the kind of guys that you want out on the field. Jack Salmon is one of those guys making diving plays like that.
Absolutely. That's a great hustle play from him. He got a really good jump. Ostrander got jammed inside, unable to make great contact, and Sam was able to just kind of put that away.
The new hitter, Mason Pilarski, hits the first pitch he sees over to Nin Burns, the second in right field, and it drops for a base hit. So after Reese Luke records that first out on an amazing Jack Salmon diving play, a out is recorded towards the right fielder, Nin Burns. So 2 outs quickly here on 2 pitches. So in the first inning, Reese Luke, 2 pitches, 2 hits. Second inning, 2 pitches, 2 outs. You could say that corner has definitely been turned there for Luke on the mound.
Yeah, when you get an aggressive team like this, that's going to happen. You're swinging at the first pitch, trying to make things happen. You're going to run into outs like that.
It's going to be Mark Manecki stepping up to the plate here for the Western Michigan Broncos as he takes that first pitch for a strike. Reese Luick really finding his groove here after giving up those first 2 base runners in the first inning, thankfully not letting him score. The 0-1 pitch from Luick swung on over to Johnny Rodriguez. The first baseman has to drop down to a knee in order to recover it and hands it over to his pitcher, Reese Luick, to record the final out of the inning. 4-pitch inning there for Reese Luick. Great performance by him. It's going to quickly send us into the bottom of the second inning. Still a 0-0 ball game. Bottom of the second inning here at beautiful Earl E. Wilson Stadium as Joey Wizup is back on the mound here for the Western Michigan Broncos. At first base for the Broncos is going to be Mark Manecki. Playing second is Drew Howard. The shortstop is Michael Maloney. And playing the hot corner is Mason Pilarski. In the outfield from left to right is going to be Jacob Rowald, Tanner Malley, and Connor Ostrander. The catcher for the Broncos tonight is Nolan Zajac. Drew Berrigan steps up to the plate for the Hudson Rebels. First pitch he sees is off speed, but finds the zone for a strike. 0-1 here. 73 miles an hour clocked by the gun here at Early Wilson Stadium. Wizup comes set. Through his windup, the pitch outside for ball. It's now a 1-1 count here. Very quick inning there for the Hudson Rebels in the top half of the second inning. Going back into the dugout, do you think the momentum from your first inning where you weren't able to get any runners on kind of bleeds into this inning here to kind of hone into the same momentum for these guys?
Yeah, he was able to just settle in that inning, and now after a 4-pitch inning like that, UNLV's, they're trying to make some quality at-bats after a really quick inning like that, maybe work some counts and allow Lewick to get a little bit more of a rest.
Drew Berrigan is able to get a piece of that one, and it's a foul ball. We'll do it again at 1-2 here, the count. Yeah, especially for the pitcher whiz up here for Western Michigan. The last thing that you want is to, as soon as, as soon as you get to the bench, you're immediately getting back up again because the other team's only thrown 4 pitches. 1-2 pitch swung on for Drew Berrigan, lifted high and deep into center field. Center fielder going back for Western Michigan, catches it, tracks the ball down. What a great play there from the center fielder, Tanner Malley, able to track that one down. Ben, I'm sure you thought just as much as I did that ball was going to drop right in front of the wall.
Yeah, he got really turned around there. He wasn't sure which way he was going to face. His chest started facing left field, and then it was facing right field, and he's finally able to make that catch in front of the wall. But that is very scary, especially for Wizard, pitcher.
Yeah, luckily there's that cushion padding in center field and across the outfield here at Early Wilson Stadium. So even if he had taken a couple more steps past the warning trap, it hopefully would have been a little bit more of a comfortable blow than some of the stadiums that you'll tend to see at the Mountain West level here. Nin Burns the second, the batter here for the Hustlin Rebels. First pitch he sees is a ball. Wisdom quickly gets his second pitch through his windup. High for another ball, now 2-0 here.
Burns had a really good Sunday game, had 3 hits, drove in 3 runs, and was a home run away from the cycle.
Yeah, I mean, not just a good game, but a good weekend from Nin Burns the second. I remember talking to him after his game on Friday night with Drew Berrigan, the hitter who we just saw. And again, the fact that they're both roommates, the fact that they feed off their energy is just an interesting little story. The things that you don't really think about, and the fact that Drew Berrigan could come up, get on base, and then Nin Burns able to potentially hit him in. He did that so many times on Saturday, and especially on Friday, it was those kinds of base hits and that kind of attitude that got us that comeback from 6-0 down. It's a 2-1 count here on Nin Burns after he fouls the last pitch. That one he checks his swing, but the umpires got him going all the way behind home plate. It's now a 2-2 count here for Burns. Definitely seeing some early signs of a pitcher's duel here, Ben.
Yeah, Wizard doesn't throw as hard as you might expect from a Division I pitcher, and they're just trying to make whatever they can do out of those soft pitches.
Nin Burns lifts it high in the air, and the first baseman for the Broncos, that's Mark Meneke, able to track it down just like his center fielding counterpart and catch the ball on a dive in order to record the second out of the inning. I mean, maybe let's not talk about the pitching duel here. Let's talk about the outfielding in this game so far. Jack Sammy with that diving catch at the top half of the inning. We've had 2 unbelievable catches here from the defensive showing of the Broncos here, Ben.
That was a really good play out there. He was going away from first base with his back turned to home plate. He's able to make the play there. And we're just getting some really good defensive plays out here today.
Yeah, I used to play some first base back in my day, and those kind of balls where it's not necessarily in the Bermuda Triangle between the second baseman, first baseman, and right fielder, but when it's going down that first base line, and especially as a first baseman, you know that either you're going to be colliding with your right fielder who's going full sprint at you, or you're going to have to make a pretty awkward play behind your back. And the fact that Meneke was able to do that there is just really impressive. And, on top of the Malley catch out in center field. It'll be Johnny Rodriguez, the hitter here. He's seen 2 pitches. First one for a ball. Last one was for a strike there. It's 1-1 here. Wizard comes set. The pitch. Rodriguez thought about it, but smartly holds off as that pitch lands outside and in the dirt for ball 2. Quickly 2-1 here. Now the 2-1 pitch to Rodriguez. Swung on, drilled the other way down the left field line. Looks like it's hooking foul, and it'll land in foul territory. Left fielder Jacob Rowell giving chase on it, but really just kind of hit some tail there and immediately went towards the batting cages that are there behind the Western Michigan bullpen.
Yeah, Rodriguez is in really need of a hit right here. That's just unfortunate for him. After that big hit party on Sunday where they scored 23 runs and had 23 hits, Rodriguez was the only guy who started the game for UNLV who didn't record a base hit.
Now the 2-2 pitch from Wizard swung on over to the right side. It'll be foul before the first baseman Meneke can get his glove on it. We'll do it again at 2 apiece. Yeah, Rodriguez coming into this game hitting .226. He had a really good series against Austin Peay to start off the season, but couldn't quite find it against Bradley as he swings at that one and fouls it back right into the UNLV bullpen. Couple of balls here for the umpire. I'd like to imagine that whoever that is giving the balls over basically just caught the ball that went right to him off the bat of Rodriguez. Wizub looking in. Coming through his windup, the pitch. Swung on, lifted high and deep into right field. Right fielder giving back, looking up at the wall, and it is gone! Over the trees in right field, Johnny Rodriguez hits a home run to get the scoring started for UNLV.
It's a good piece of hitting right there. It's the old announcer jink. You say something. You comment about
Johnny Rodriguez, we know that he has the power behind that bat, and we absolutely saw it there. The right fielder for the Broncos, Connor Ostrander, knew that that was gone as soon as it came off the bat. He was basically playing at the warning track. He took a couple steps back and went, oh, okay, this one's going over the fence. And again, those trees in right field basically cleared those as well. Great piece of hitting there from Johnny Rodriguez, battling that 2 strikes, getting into the approach, getting a run on the board for UNLV here. The batter now is going to be the starting shortstop, Cooper Sheff. He swings and misses at the first pitch. It's now 0-1. Wizard looking to quickly get back here. Doesn't want to give up any more runs than that, but throws that pitch high and outside for a ball and now makes it 1-1. Wizard really was just wheeling and dealing as that pitch is going to miss the zone low for another ball. It's 2-1 here. I feel like there's a lot of confidence out on the mound there from Wisdom, and after that home run, I feel like a lot of that kind of has to drain out of your system.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, he doesn't really throw that hard. These are not the velocities that these guys are expecting to hit, so they're having to kind of make adjustments mid-game and kind of react to those really slow speeds.
Another ball thrown in there against Cooper Shep. Wizard definitely trying to find anything that works here. The pitch high and inside, but called a strike on the corner there from the home plate umpire. Cooper Shep definitely thought he was getting a free bag there, already tossed his bat and was a quarter of the way down the first base line, but home plate umpire says, not so fast.
Yeah, he definitely expanded the zone there a little bit. We saw a little bit of that expansion of the zone earlier in that last inning for the Rebels.
The 3-2 pitch to Sheff, swung on and missed. Not the result Sheff wanted. He flips his bat in frustration, but it's not before a UNLV run comes across the board off the bat of Johnny Rodriguez. It's a 1-0 ball game as we head into the top of the 3rd inning. Back here with Hustlin Rebels baseball in the top of the 3rd inning after a very exciting bottom second. A couple of great catches from the Western Michigan offense. Johnny Rodriguez able to blast one out to right field. Makes it a 1-0 ball game here. The hitter for the Broncos is going to be Nolan Zajac, and the first pitch he sees from the concurrent pitcher Reese Luke is outside for a ball, 1-0. The hitter is actually going to be Diego Pena and not Zajac. It's a 1-1 count here. The pitch from Luick, gonna find the zone. I didn't think the umpire was gonna call it. Man, these slow calls from the umpire makes it so hard to kind of decipher what he's gonna call next, don't you think, Ben?
He's really just building it up there, and again with another expansion of the strike zone there, he's not afraid to expand the zone.
So if Diego Pena's in this 9 spot, you'd like to imagine that he's probably the person behind the dish and catching instead of Nolan Zajac, like they so told us in the report before the game. It's a 2-2 count here on Pena. The pitch checks his swing, didn't quite come around the check down the first base line. They got him. Great check there by Aiden Garcia, the catcher for the Hustlin Rebels, and there's quickly one down here on a strikeout for Luick.
A really good pitch by Luke there. Throwing the heat. Pena just wasn't ready for it. Tries to hold up. And he's unable to.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple of times tonight from both sides here where, you know, a couple of off-speed pitches. I mean, between Luick and between Wiz of the two starting pitchers tonight, a lot of off-speed stuff here. And it's really hard to try and decipher what's going to be coming next. But that one in there for a strike. Quickly 0-1 here on Tanner Malley, the leadoff hitter here for the Broncos. So we've gone through the lineup here for the Broncos in about two and a third innings. Reese Luick getting his pitch once again. Doesn't have a long windup as that pitch not going to quite find the zone. Off speed just broke outside of the plate. Quickly makes it 1-1 here.
Yeah, Luick's doing a really good job of just changing speeds right now. He's got great sequencing on his pitches, and he's really keeping these Western Michigan batters on their toes.
The 1-1 pitch from Luick swung on down the third base side. Drew Berrigan not able to get it. It trickles into left field. Jack Salmon give it a chase on it. Goes all the way to the wall. Malley's able to round first. He's checking for third. The throw is going to be in there. He quickly changes his mind and goes right back to second base. Great piece of base running there from Malley. We saw that over the weekend with Johnny Rodriguez trying to get a triple. Definitely some similar signs in that, but Malley able to read the throw from Jack Salmon. And I mean, what an arm from Salmon there in left field. Able to get that throw in and prevent the runner from being 90 feet away from scoring.
Yeah, that's just a great piece of hitting right there. Berrigan was playing off the line, and he's just unable to make the play. He got a little bit of a bad read on that ball. Started going to his left, and then he has to readjust, and now he's going to his right, and the ball's already past him.
The hitter now is Drew Howard as he watches that first pitch not called the strike. It's now 1-0 here. But yeah, Drew Berrigan, I'm sure he's probably kicking himself for that one. Those kind of balls that just trickle down your baseline are always the worst ones, especially for me on first base. I always hated seeing those balls where I know that if I were to just dive out for it, if I was a little bit closer, I'd be able to at least make an effort for it. And Drew Berrigan, unfortunately, on the wrong side of his heels there, not able to make a play on it.
Yeah, with that base hit there, Berrigan's actually adjusted over a little bit. Now he's starting to guard that line a little closer, making sure nothing gets past him over there. You don't want a reoccurrence of that.
Yeah, not only that, but Tanner Malley, 90 feet away from him, you don't want him advancing either. A good throw from Aiden Garcia would get him out. The pitch from Luick swung on and missed. Off speed, finds that outside part of the zone. Drew Howard, the batter, bites on it and makes it a 1-2 count here for the Hustlin Rebels.
Just a solid pitch from Luick right there. Great movement. Howard's unable to see it well, and he just swings right through it.
Yeah, again, all of this off-speed pitching from both sides of the field. The 1-2 pitch swung on and dipped into right field. Nin Burns playing very shallow, and the runner from second is going to tag. Malley is in, sliding safely at third base. There are 2 outs here in the top of the second inning, but a runner 90 feet away from scoring. Sorry, the third inning. Yeah, I was kind of shocked to see Nin Burns playing in so shallow there. I saw that ball just kind of bloop into right field. I'm thinking, oh, this is getting down for a base hit. But Nin Burns is playing that perfectly. You'd like to imagine that scouting report for UNLV on Western Michigan has been pretty top-notch right now.
Yeah, Burns has been really busy out there in right field. He's just – the scouting report most likely had him play shallow, and he's ready for it.
Michael Maloney, now the hitter here for Western Michigan. And yeah, like you said, that was a big thing that they talked about in that series against Bradley, making sure you know who's batting, right? And making sure you know what their tendencies are, where they tend to hit the ball and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, you look at the field right now, we've got a Cooper Chef playing pretty close to Drew Berrigan, expecting for a pull as that pitch is swung on and missed by Maloney. Quickly makes it 0-2 here for Reese Luick. Reese Luick doing a very good job of dealing with the adversities here in this game. That first inning, we saw him give up 2 hits, got out of the inning, and then Tanner Malley comes up yet again, gets another base hit, and now he might be stranded on third base.
Yeah, as a pitcher, you have to have a really short memory. You can't allow base hits like that to affect you. And that's what Reese Luick is doing so far. He's allowed a little bit of hard contact, but he's able to work through that and not allow it to affect him.
Yeah, it's been a real good performance from him as the next pitch he throws was fouled off by Maloney there. We'll do it again at 0-2. But yeah, you'd like to imagine Luick wanting to do everything in his power to end this inning. Nasty off-speed pitch for strike 3 would be huge for the Rebels here. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. There's that off-speed outside part of the zone. And it'll be a 1-2 base hit and 3 inning for the Western Michigan Broncos. They strand another runner in tonight's game, and it's a 1-0 ball game as we head into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Bottom of 3rd inning here between your UNLV Hustlin Rebels and the Western Michigan Broncos. And Ben, we're just flying by in this game. I mean, compared to the Bradley series where it was just hour after hour after excruciating hour, we're only 40 minutes into this game, and we're already in the bottom of the 3rd inning. How do you say about that?
That's what the pitch clock does for you. It speeds up the game and also helps when you have pitchers who are just working tremendously fast. They're not wasting too much time in between pitches. They're just getting right to it.
Jack Salmon going to be the leadoff hitter for the Rebels as that pitch he takes finds the outside part of the zone for a strike. Yet again, another off-speed pitch. I don't think I've seen too many fastballs in today's game so far.
He might not have great belief in his fastball with these off-speed pitches really working. Really, the speeds are they're confusing for the batters.
Yeah, and I mean, outside of that swing of the bat from Johnny Rodriguez, it has been working for the pitcher whiz up here for the Broncos. It's a 1-1 count here for Jack Salmon. Whiz up through his windup. The pitch. Not going to find the zone. Quickly makes it 2-1 here on Jack Salmon, the starting left fielder in tonight's game. Outfield rotation has basically been one of those things that's been hit or miss throughout the season so far. We've seen guys like Reggie Bussey subbed in and out. Jack Salmon subbed in and out. Nin Burns has been a constant threat there in right field, but between, the outfielders in general, Jaden Sanchez, another name that comes to mind in that center field spot where we usually see him. Jack Salmon seeds that pitch outside for a ball, quickly makes it 3-1 here. Whiz up quickly through his windup again. That pitch not going to find the outside part of the zone, excuse me.
And to add to your point there, Burns has just been really consistent this season, and with his arm out there, you just can't take him out of the lineup.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of an outfielder that is actually playing alongside Reggie Bussey in today's game, we've got Jaden Sanchez. Jaden Sanchez going to be playing center field. Reggie Bussey only hitting in today's game, and honestly, from that decision from head coach Stan Stolte, a great one. Reggie Bussey's bat has just been on fire. He entered this game hitting 667. Just can't make those kinds of numbers up. Jaden Sanchez, though, posing as the 9-hitter here for the Hustlin Rebels, as that pickoff attempt is going to be all too easy to read for Jack Salmon over on first base. Wizza gets his pitch, looks over at Salmon. In it comes and called a strike on the outside part of the zone on Sanchez. Quickly makes it 0-1 to start off this at-bat.
Infield playing somewhat expecting some weak contact, trying to turn a quick double play right here.
I mean, Jaden Sanchez is probably the fastest guy on this team. I can't really blame the Broncos for this kind of move. If he gets that bunt down, it's very likely that he's able to get over to first base in time. We actually saw that against Bradley. It wasn't necessarily a bunt, but a bloop hit towards the pitcher, and he was able to beat it out, get the pitcher on his heels, almost fell over and was safe at first base. A 1-1 count here on Sanchez. Pickoff attempt again from Wizza. Not going to find Jack Salmon out.
Yeah, Sanchez just really has great bat control. He can kind of spray the ball all over the field. Had a home run on Sunday's game. Just an overall hitter. He does a great job and adds a lot to the lineup.
The 1-1 pitch outside and high for a ball quickly makes it 2-1 here. And we've seen Jack Salmon over on first base getting picked off a lot. Not in the sense that he's getting out, but just so many pickoff attempts from these pitchers. And again, Jack Salmon is a quick guy, don't get me wrong. But for the leads that he's getting, like you can see here, I don't think it quite necessarily warrants a pickoff attempt. That pitch swung on and missed from Sanchez, now makes it 2-2 here.
Yeah, he's just got a really good presence on the base pass. They're worried that if you know there's a base hit in the gap, he's going to score because he might not be the fastest runner off the start, but he just can sprint and he has the aggression on the base pass.
And there we see another pickoff attempt on Jack Salmon, and he basically just has to fall on the bag in order to be safe. Again, this isn't an insane leadoff here from Jack Salmon, and I'm not sure why it's always Salmon that's the one that's getting picked off so much. Between him and Nin Burns, I can't tell who gets picked off more on this squad. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed from Sanchez. Wisdom able to record the first out of the inning on that swinging strikeout from Jaden Sanchez, and it brings up Reggie Bussey back to the #1 hitter. So both teams able to get through their batting lineups in 2 innings, and not only that, but 2 1/3 inning of work.
That's just a great pitch right there. 74 miles an hour, really changing speeds. I mean, it's not really changing speeds, but it is because you're expecting like that 75 to 80 mile an hour range, and here comes 74 miles an hour.
Reggie Bussey shows a bunt, quickly pulls it back as that off-speed misses the outer part of the zone, makes it 1-0 here. The third baseman for Western Michigan, Mason Pilarski, playing at the infield grass, not necessarily down the line here, which is an interesting choice in my personal opinion. Might be because he wants to try and get that double play. Reggie Bussey not showing bunt this time around and instead takes that one for a strike, making it 1-1.
Yeah, infield shifted over to the right a little bit. You can see the second baseman playing closer at first base, and the shortstop, Maloney, playing just to the right of that second base bag over there, as they're expecting a pull hit here if Reggie Bussey's going to swing the bat.
He takes that pitch outside for a ball, now makes it 2-1, and you're absolutely right. We brought it up briefly in the broadcast before about kind of the shifting that we've seen, especially from UNLV, but Western Michigan obviously getting their scouting report as well on Reggie Bussey, and as you can see by their second baseman, definitely expecting that pull job here. The 2-1 pitch from Wizza, not quite finding the zone. It'll make it 3-1 here, and again, just the hesitation I have from watching this home plate umpire call balls and strike makes me really guess when it's going to be a ball and when it's going to be a strike. Obviously, up here, certain pitchers look certain ways, but he's got the best angle down there behind home plate.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. It's very much performance. It's his game. He's trying to show you, trying to build up that pitch.
Reggie Bussey takes that one outside for a ball, and it's 2 free bases here issued for the Hustlin Rebels, and honestly, this guy stepping up to the plate is probably the last guy Western Michigan want right now. It's Marcos Rosales, the hot hitter here for the Hustlin Rebels. He's batting .478 coming into this game. And I mean, it just shows he finds ways to get on base every single time. We saw that in Saturday's game, Ben, where he would get on with a single. He'd have a double. He'd have a sacrifice attempt that would also get him on base. A shortstop would make an error. It just seemed he couldn't stop getting on base as the first pitch he sees is swung on. It hit high in the air. First baseman for the Broncos, Mark Manecki, giving chase on it, but it quickly goes out of bounds just before the UNLV bullpen down that right field line.
You know, from a second baseman, you're expecting a really good contact guy to be able to hit it to all parts of the field. But don't forget, Rosales has good power. He's got 2 home runs this season. And if he gets a hold of one, he could let it leave the yard.
Yeah, especially on Wizzup and even Reese Lewick, who, you know, posed to be more of off-speed pitchers. You'd like to imagine that Marcos Rosales here, it's a 1-1 count right now. If he can get into something that he really likes, he'll get that pitch, and he'll certainly drive it a long way. The 1-1 pitch here from Wizzup. Swung on, lifted high in the air, drifting towards foul territory, and it's going to land in the stands here at Earl E. Wilson Stadium for strike 2 here on Rosales. So Rosales is going to be playing a little bit of catch-up here against Wizzup, but again, we've seen him in even worse. We've seen him in 0-2 counts, and he's been able to get a base hit.
Yeah, he's just got really good plate discipline. He can just fight off pitches like we saw with Garcia this past week.
The 1-2 pitch right up the middle. It's going to drive in a run potentially. Here comes Jack Salmon, ran it around third base. He's going to score. Reggie Bushy digging. He's not going to be able to get there in time. The throw to second is in time. Oh, no, it's not. The tag isn't down in time. Oh, my goodness. Marcos Rosales swam around the tag off of the shortstop for the Broncos, Michael Maloney, and he's able to get in there with a double.
Wow, that's a great swim move over there by Rosales, avoiding the tag. I for sure thought he was out.
I mean, I'm Bussy. I desperately wanted that run to come in. Jack Salmon able to come in, makes it a 2-0 ball game. I wasn't even thinking about Rosales trying to get over to second base, but, you know, he's got the wheels, and, I mean, he's got the technique as well. Able to swing move. It was actually the second baseman, Drew Howard, that wasn't able to get the tag down in time there for Western Michigan. And there's only one out here. Marcos Rosales has an RBI double on that swim move. It's a 2-0 ball game. And here's Aiden Garcia up to the plate, another hot hitter for UNLV.
There's no holes in this lineup for UNLV. That's why they scored 20 runs on Sunday, and they scored 13 on Saturday. Every guy in this lineup can hit. Every guy can hit for contact. They can hit for power. And you really have to make your pitches.
Aiden Garcia takes 2 back-to-back balls there, quickly makes it a 2-0 count here on the catcher for tonight's game. And it looks as though the Western Michigan pitching staff is going to have a talk here. Infield all coming in together. There is a little bit of action there in the Western Michigan bullpen, but I do believe it's probably a little too early to make the pitching change here. Unless that is part of the game plan for the Broncos tonight. Maybe a bit of a bullpen day. Wizzup not necessarily known to be a starting pitcher.
Yeah, Wizzup, he's not doing too bad. He's throwing 52 pitches so far. He's not giving up so much hard contact to where I still think UNLV could struggle against Wizzup.
Again, outside of the Marcos Rosales double and then that Johnny Rodriguez home run, you know, Jack Salmon and Reggie Bussey, the only reason why they're on base is because of 2 walks. And again, being an off-speed pitcher naturally, that's kind of one of the biggest struggles that you're going to have to face, is that especially when you've got a home plate umpire that may not be able to see the pitches as well as you'd like him to, you're going to get some of those ball calls that you think should definitely be called strikes because they caught the outside part of the zone. Blue, what do you say? And blah, 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 blah. That's one of the things that Wizzup is dealing with in this game. And like you said, I think he's doing a pretty good job of it as well. Only a 2-run ball game here. There is one out, and the force play is not in order here. But again, Aiden Garcia, he did strike out his first time up, and you'd like to imagine he's trying to make up for that at bat here. The pitch swung on, lifted over towards the left field side. Left fielder giving chase for the Broncos. He's able to make the catch, and he falls down. Reggie Bussey's able to tag up and score. It's now a 3-0 ball game for the Rebels. Marcos Rosales smartly retreats back to second base. And a great piece of sacrificial hitting there from Aiden Garcia. Another RBI on the books.
That's just a great piece of fielding by Rowold. He makes a similar catch to what Salmon did, and it's just great presence over there in left field to know where you are on the field and to still be able to make the catch and coincidentally get that throw into it, not allow Rosales to tag up to third.
Yeah, Rold, you'd like to imagine that if he had just a couple more paces towards his right side, he'd definitely be able to plant his feet, maybe get a throw into home plate, try and get Reggie Bussey out, but unfortunately falls over making the grab, and now it's going to lead Drew Berrigan to try and get his piece of contact here with a runner in scoring position. First pitch he sees is high and outside for a ball, quickly makes it 1-0 here. Wizub looking in, gets his pitch, takes a look over at Marcos Rosales at second base. Here's the pitch. It's outside for a ball. Now 2-0 here against against Drew Berrigan. Ben, would it be safe to say that at this point in time, Wizub just had that mound visit with one of his coaches there, gives up yet another run, now has 2 runs recorded in this inning? Do you think that there might be a little bit of him being rattled going on right now?
Yeah, I think UNLV started to figure out what his game plan is, and they're not swinging at those pitches they were swinging at in those first 2 innings. And so now he's trying to throw different stuff, trying to change it up, and it simply isn't working for him.
He's definitely still plowing away here against Drew Berrigan. It's a 3-0 count here on him. Drew Berrigan way ahead of the count. See if he gets a green light. No, shows the fake bunt in there for a strike. Not green one here. We've seen that a lot in UNLV. Whenever that green light isn't about, they quickly show the bunt, quickly take it back to not, force the strike on them.
Dance.
Yeah, exactly. Fake bunt's always been one of my favorite moves in baseball. That pitch swung on, lifted high in the air towards foul territory. The first baseman for the Broncos, Manecki, giving chase, but not able to get it as he runs out of room. Gives a nice little toss towards the UNLV dugout, and it'll make it 3-2 here. Wizub doing a really good job this at-bat, battling all the way back. 3-0 against Berrigan. He shows the fake bunt, finds the strike zone finally, then has that off-speed pitch, which Drew Berrigan fouls out down the first base line. He comes, sets again, looks at Rosales. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Swung on right up the middle. Rosales is going to be turning third, trying to score here. He's being sent over. Drew Berrigan rounding first base. He's not going to be going into second base, and it's an RBI single for Drew Berrigan. 4-0 UNLV Rebels. Just 3 great at-bats there from the Hustlin Rebels, Ben. You've got that double from Marcos Rosales, who is down 1-2 in the count. You've got that sacrificial RBI on Aiden Garcia, hitting that ball just enough down the line on that third base side. And then Drew Berrigan, another ball up the middle against Wizub here.
Yeah, UNLV, their batters are just attacking that middle of the field. The second baseman and shortstop were just playing a little too far away from the back to be able to cover that ground, and UNLV's taking advantage of that.
And here we're going to have another pitching meeting here. The Western Michigan players in the dugout are kind of bundling up outside the dugout, usually signs of a pitching change, and here comes the bullpen gates being opened. You'll see that Western Michigan player just entering your frame there on the left-hand side, and we are due for a pitching change here. It's a 4-0 ball game here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. We'll be right back as soon as this Western Michigan pitcher's all warmed up. Back here with UNLV Hustlin Rebels in the bottom of the third inning. Pitching change now finally complete. It's going to be 44, Matt Maloney, brother of Michael Maloney, who's currently playing first base here for the Broncos. Excuse me, Michael's playing shortstop tonight. So Matt and Michael Maloney out on the field. Michael Maloney coming into this game with a 0.00 ERA. The first batter he's going to face is Nin Burns the second. First pitch off speed, not going to find the zone. It's going to be a 1-0 count here for Burns early. Drew Berrigan, the runner on first base here. 3 runs have come across the score this inning. Hustlin Rebels looking to add more to that. The 1-0 pitch, low and outside for another ball, 2-0 here. Then as we saw that pitching change go down, we kind of saw the umpire and the head coach for the Broncos having a, pretty long and lengthy conversation halfway up the third base line. What do you think that was about?
Honestly, I have no idea. It could have been about the strike zone. Maybe the head coach didn't like the expansion of the strike zone. It could have just been about maybe how Maloney, this pitcher coming in, is going to throw and kind of what we might see from the strike zone.
3-0 pitch finally finds the zone. Nin Burns waiting to, actually see a strike from the new pitcher. The last thing you want to do is, let this guy throw 3 balls at you and then you swing at the first pitch that's in the zone to try and get him out of an inning. It's a 3-1 count here. Maloney gets his pitch, threw his windup, swung on down the third baseline, foul.
Yeah, those last 2 pitches, 84 and 83 miles an hour, you're going to have to make in-game adjustments right here. And with how slow the starting pitcher was throwing, and now it's gonna speed you up a little bit, so you're gonna have to kind of take that step sooner.
Runners go, but it's a ball low and outside for Burns. 2 runners now on base, and it's going to be the home run hitter, Johnny Rodriguez, stepping up to the plate here for the Hustlin Rebels. Gets you a little bit excited, knowing a guy who's already hit a home run. You're thinking, hey man, do it again.
Yeah, able to break out of that slump or just whatever was going on that game on Sunday. He just was not able to figure out. He's able to he's able to get that home run. It's his first at bat, and that's a good sign for what's to come next.
Yeah, and the pitcher Maloney, not the start that he probably wanted, as the first pitch to Rodriguez is swung on and fouled back towards the Western Michigan dugout. Walking the first batter you see, especially coming into relief, not only relief, but in relief in such a early window of time like the third inning, and in a third inning where we've already scored 3 runs, last thing you want to be doing is giving up 3 bases. The 0-1 pitch from Maloney, swung on and missed by Rodriguez, quickly makes it 0-2 here. Maloney desperately trying to get his team back in the dugout for an at-bat.
Yeah, Rodriguez swinging at those first 2 pitches here. He's trying to be aggressive, trying to make things happen. He's got 2 runners on base.
The 0-2 pitch from Maloney, not going to find the zone. Johnny Rodriguez smartly takes that away. It's now 1-2 here. And again, going back to the previous pitcher, Wizub, who's currently being held responsible for the runner on second, Drew Berrigan, we thought he was throwing a lot of off speed, but according to the pitching report, he tops out at about 80 miles an hour. 1-2 pitch swung on and fouled back by Rodriguez. So Ben and I, we're sitting here thinking, wow, there's a lot of off-speed stuff coming in. We're looking over at the miles per hour that's being clocked over at the Bruce Lane scoreboard here at Early Wilson Stadium, and we're seeing nothing even touch 80 that much. And it turns out that there were some fastballs being mixed in there. We just couldn't tell. 1-2 pitch here. Swung on down the third base side. It's not looking like anyone's going to be able to get over to it. It's going to land in foul territory, and we'll do it again at 1-2 here for Rodriguez. The left fielder, Jacob Rowell, giving chase on it, not able to get it. Kind of dies right in front of that Western Michigan bullpen down the left field line.
Yeah, Raul got a really good jump there. I was thinking he was going to make another acrobatic diving play to get that third out, but with Johnny Rodriguez, the lefty, playing, he's playing just a little over to the right.
The 1-2 pitch, not finding the zone. It actually misses inside here on Rodriguez. Quickly evens the count at 2 apiece. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We've got a runner on second, 2 runners on base. A lot of 2s going on here, Ben.
Yeah, 4 is a multiple of 2 on the scoreboard.
And 44 is pitching now. The pitch swung on right back up the middle. It almost hits Drew Berrigan on the head, but he's able to pause and get his way out of it. He's going to come and score. Nin Burns is rounding third, and he scores. Johnny Rodriguez is up with a 2 RBI double. He signals towards the dugout. His dugout's happy with him. We're up and celebrating because it's a 6-0 ball game here in the third.
Just a good piece of opposite field hitting. He just kind of sticks the bat out there. The shift, playing infield, playing to the right. And there's a complete hole right there, and he's able to take advantage of that and drive in 2.
Yeah, we've seen so many base hit this inning alone that have been right up the middle, kind of towards the left side of the second base bag. And UNLV Rebels, it's basically like there's a target over there right over the shortstop's head, and they're just desperately trying to hit over it. Now we've got a very interesting shift here on the starting shortstop, Cooper Sheff. We've basically got the third baseman playing down the line. Shortstop is playing somewhat close to the third baseman's position, and the second baseman is actually on the left side of the second base bag, right behind Rodriguez. The 0-1 pitch swung on, lifted high and deep into center field. It'll be Tanner Malley making the catch and ending the inning here in the third, but it's not before UNLV is able to put up 5 more runs, making it a 6-0 ball game as we head into the top of the 4th inning. Back here on the UNLV Student Broadcasting YouTube account here in the top of the 4th inning. UNLV Hustlin Rebels able to put up a 5 spot in the bottom of the 3rd. It now makes it a 6-0 ball game, and Reese Luke is still up there wheeling and dealing for the Rebels.
Yeah, Luke's just being really efficient right now. 34 pitches going into the top of the 4th inning. And he's looking to be the first UNLV pitcher to go into the 6th inning.
Yeah, Jacob Rowell, going to be the leadoff hitter here for the Broncos. First pitch he sees is a strike. Next one is going to be a ball. Quickly makes it 1-1 here. Rowell flew out to Nin Burns, the right fielder, in his first at-bat in the 1st inning. As he swings and misses at that pitch from Lewick, quickly makes it 1-2 here. Lewick really doing a job here for the Hustlin Rebels tonight.
And this Western Michigan offense it's not making it difficult for Luke. They're really just swinging at anything, trying to make something happen.
1-2 pitch finds the inner part of the zone for a strike 3 call. Home plate umpire Jeffrey Macias loved that one, and it's 1 out here quickly for Reese Lewick in the 4th. Three strikeouts in Reese Lewick's last 2 innings of work so far. I say 2 innings, it's more like 1 1/3 here, trying to complete this clean sweep of strikeouts this inning. Gets his pitch from Garcia in there, For a strike, right back to it. 90-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle. The hitter, Paul Lubinsky, in the batter's box here for the Broncos, as Lewick gets his pitch once again. And it comes, not going to find the zone this time. Outside for a ball, quickly makes it 1-1 here. The 1-1 pitch from Lewick outside yet again. Ball 2. 2-1 here. I feel like this is kind of not a position that Lewick would theoretically want to be in. You're coming off of a strikeout. You're kind of riding hot because you finished off that third inning with a strikeout as well. Your team just put up 5 runs in the bottom half of the last inning. The last thing you want to do is give up free bases and, kind of give the Broncos some sort of hope that they can actually win this game.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that two-ball count. I think it's more of a setup pitch. He's trying to make the batters think that they're going to get walked, and then he just throws it right in there. And now that they kind of keep them on their toes.
Well, he was able to get Paul Lubinsky to foul that one off. The 2-2 pitch, not going to find the zone. It'll now be a full count here on the hitter, Paul Lubinsky. Paul Lubinsky struck out his first time out back in the first inning. Strikeout ended their inning after those Sooners came off with 2 base hits. The 3-2 pitch just about misses the outside of the zone. Paul Lubinsky thought about seeing it, but quickly pulled back. A runner will safely reach first base here on the free hand of Reese Lewick.
Yeah, that was a slider right there. Just had a little too much movement. Garcia unable to frame it well for the umpire to call it strike 3.
It'll be the right-hander Connor Ostrander stepping into the box here for the Broncos with a runner on first. Reese Lewick takes a quick little look back at him. Through his windup, the pitch going to be in the dirt. A sliding Aiden Garcia able to block it, not letting Paul Lubinsky advance over, but it does make it a 1-0 count here for Lewick. Takes a look over at first again. Comes through the pitch. In there for a strike. Again, another one of those slow calls there from home plate umpire Jeffrey Macias. Never know. It looks like it's there. Sometimes he's calling it a strike. Sometimes he's calling it a ball. But it's those delayed kind of calls from home plate umpires. I can't really remember whether I like them or not.
It's really build momentum and just... It's just like a play,
Yeah. Call him an actor. We've got the Oscars coming up. You'd like to imagine that he's trying to, maybe get a nomination for that late in the race. Nominations have already closed, but hey, we should have maybe some umpire Oscar awards. The 1-2 pitch here. Swung on the other way through the 6-5 hole, and it'll be a base hit for Ostrander. Now a runner in scoring position here for the Broncos, but again, like we saw in the first inning and, like the Western Michigan Broncos have done all season, they get these runners on base, but they can't quite cash in. They've already got one out on the board, and anything up the middle towards either Marcos Rosales or Cooper Sheff, the second baseman or shortstop respectively, is certainly going to get turned for a double play.
Yeah, Stan Stolte not trying to make... He's not trying to take any chances right here. He's going to send the pitching coach out. Have a little mound visit with Lewick. Just kind of let him settle down, let him clear his head a little bit with 2 runners on right here.
Yeah, Coach O, the pitching coach for your Hustlin Rebels this year, and it's safe to say that so many of the guys in part of the pitching staff love Coach O. I was speaking to Tate Foxen, one of the relief pitchers over that Bradley series last weekend, and he just couldn't have enough nice things to say about Coach O. Coach O is just one of those guys that when business comes, he's all down to it, and he's not going to joke around and slack about. He wants those wins. He wants his guys to perform, and not only that, but he loves all his guys too. But obviously, there's that fun side of him too. He likes seeing his guys have fun, and right now, I'm sure he went up to Reese Lewick there and said, hey man, we've got one out here. Get out of this inning. I know you're capable of doing it. Let's get it here with this new batter, Mason Pilarski for the Broncos. First pitch he sees. Off speed, finds the outer part of the zone. A nice strike call right down in the dirt there from Macias. Makes it 0-1 here for Lewick, right back into the nitty-gritty of things here. Pilarski ready, back in the batter's box. Lewick takes a look over at second base. The pitch, finding that outside part of the zone yet again. He's tagged the same place, the same pitch, exactly the same way, and it's quickly an 0-2 count here for Lewick.
He's trying to set up that double play. He's trying to get Pilarski to just kind of like reach his bat out there and hit a little nubber to Chef where he can just flip it to Rosales and turn that double play.
The 0-2 pitch here from Lewick outside yet again, doesn't quite hit the zone. Pilarski not falling for it. It now makes it 1-2. And I mean, again, like you're saying about trying to get Pilarski to tap it over to that right side of the infield to maybe Rodriguez or Rosales to try and get that double play. Really the biggest example that baseball really is a game of chess and not checkers. The 1-2 pitch from Lewick. Checked his swing down the first baseline. Yes, he did! Swinging strikeout there recorded for Reese Lewick. It's his 5th strikeout of the game, and you can definitely tell that Reese is feeling himself on there on the mound now, Ben.
Yeah, he goes to that same pitch he's been going to for the first 2 strikes. Goes to the well again. And Pilarski unable to find it. And he strikes out.
Yeah, I mean, going back to how you were talking about setting up those pitches, it's almost like that second to last pitch before the strikeout was almost kind of way outside on purpose to try and get that batter to chase. That first pitch to the new hitter Manecki's in there for a strike, now 0-1 here. I mean, Reese Lewick can't be stopped.
He's got great command of his stuff tonight. Again, short memory, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. And he's not letting these little simple walks or base hits affect him.
That pitch misses low and outside for a ball. Quickly makes the count 1-1 here, but Lewick has definitely got a lot of room to work here. Even with runners on base and one in scoring position, he still looks very calm and collected out there. He takes a look back at the runner on second, comes to his windup, the pitch, finds the zone for a strike. 1-2 the count. Again, those delayed calls from home plate umpire Jeffrey Macias. Again, he sometimes punches the ground. He sometimes gives you the 2 fingers over to the right-hand side. You just never know, but it's exciting stuff here at early Wilson Stadium. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Lewick. Swung on over to the right side of the field. Marcos Rosales picks it up, throws it over to Johnny Rodriguez for the 3rd out of the inning. After giving up the walk and the base hit, Reese Lewick gets the strikeout, records the ground out, and that's going to end it here for the top of the 4th inning. Still a 6-0 ball game. Your Rebels ahead as we head to the bottom of the 4th. UNLV Hustlin Rebels baseball back here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Jack Salmon, the 8-hitter, to lead things off here for the Hustlin Rebels. Hustlin Rebels almost, I mean, they basically hit through their entire order. Cooper Chef recording the last out of that inning, but it was Jack Salmon to start things off with a walk, and he ended up coming all the way around to score for that first run of the inning. It's still Matt Maloney out on the mound for the Broncos. The first pitch to Salmon, not going to find the zone. Catcher drops it. That's going to be Pena behind the dish. Quickly makes it 1-0 here. So this is Jack Salmon's first time facing Maloney. In these kinds of positions where you have so many of your guys who have already faced the pitcher already, what do you think is kind of the conversation that are going on for Jack Salmon?
They're just telling each other what they're seeing, kind of what the pitch count is, what they may be leaving at 1 count, and kind of to grow and figure out the pitcher together.
Quickly a 2 count here. Next, he's swung on the right field line, foul.
And there was a mid-pitch shift there. The infield was shifted towards the second base side, including the shortstop Maloney was playing even with the bag at second, and then they just jumped on that 2-0 pitch back to the left side, so there's two on each side.
Yeah, these scouting reports definitely seem to be very in depth as Salmon takes that one inside for a ball, making it 3-1. It seems as though almost, they know where this hitter tends to hit the ball on a specific count, not only when he's just up to bat. The 3-1 pitch swung on and missed, maybe got a piece of it there. It's now a 3-2 count here on Salmon. And also, Salmon with his second at bat in 2 innings, you'd like to imagine that that probably has some effect on you as well. You were just out there on the base paths last inning, and you're thinking that you'll get a couple innings of rest as the 3-2 pitch is swung on right to the first baseman for the Broncos. Mark Meneke able to lunge up and grab that ball and record the first out of the inning for the Broncos. Still a good piece of hitting there from Jack Salmon. Kind of his first time he's been able to get contact on the ball as he walked on his first time up last inning. But it allows Jaden Sanchez, the center fielder, to get his second at-bat of the day. And again, another guy it's going to be a second at-bat in 2 innings.
Yeah, Meneke just playing really close to that first base bag right there. Salmon makes good contact with it, doesn't hit it too hard.
Jaden Sanchez lifts that one into the right center gap. Center fielder coming over. They almost collide into each other, but it'll be the center fielder able to make the catch. Tanner Malley calling off his right field counterpart, Connor Ostrander, in order to make that catch, but it almost looked like they collided with each other in front of the Fred Dallimore memorialization there in right center field.
Yeah, he's been all over the field, Molly has. And that's another good play right there. He kind of knows where he is on the field. And Ostrander almost collides with him. But Malley, the center fielder, takes charge of that ball.
Reggie Bussey shows bunt, is able to get it down, but not in fair territory. Instead, it goes right back to the backstop. It'll quickly make it 0-1 here for him. And again, for those kinds of positions between a center fielder and the right fielder, I mean, for me personally, Ben, I was told that as a center fielder, you always have command of the outfield. If you're saying, I got it, I got it. If you're the right fielder or the left fielder, you back him up in case he misses it. You don't want to be colliding with him, especially if he's the one telling you that he's got the ball. 0-1 pitch here to Bussey. Not going to find the zone. It's now 1-1.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little hard to hear each other out there, and that's maybe what happened there is that Ostrander didn't hear Malley calling that ball. And so that's why there's a little bit of confusion out there.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of an echo there. As the 1-1 pitch to Bussey's now going to lay the bunt down, and what a beautiful bunt it is towards the third base side. He's safe on first base. Great execution there from Reggie Bussey, who's hitting in the designated hitter spot, able to get that down. It trickles down the third base line. Third baseman for the Broncos, Mason Pilarki, able to snatch it up but not throw it over in time. And there's a runner on first for, again, another hot hitter, Marcos Rosales.
You know, well, it's always great to see home runs and doubles, but every once in a while, you love to see a little bit of small ball, some singles, and a great bunt right there, just to kind of move the lineup.
And I mean, hey, Ben, this is Mountain West baseball. This isn't the SEC. This isn't Big Ten. We're here to play scrappy styles of baseball. These are guys that want to make it to that big D1 level, as the first pitch to Marcos Rosales is an off-speed in there for a strike, 0-1. And I mean, UNLV has kind of paved the way for that scrappy kind of baseball. Is the throw over to first base, not going to get Reggie Bussey. We've seen a lot of that kind of style from teams like Fresno State, San Jose State. That was the big factor for them in making that Mountain West championship game against Fresno State last year. Unfortunately, weren't able to do the job, but it was that kind of playing style that got them to the championship game. 0-1 pitch in there for a strike on Rosales. He's quickly down 2 strikes. And I mean, the fact that Reggie Bussey is, so confident to get that bunt down with 2 outs, and he already tried bunting already. Pickoff attempt. It's going to get away from the first baseman. Reggie Bussey is looking to get extra bags here. He's going to round second base over to third base. It goes all the way to the right fielder for the Broncos. And now a runner 90 feet away for scoring for the Hustlin Rebels. Marcos Rosales trying to make it a 7-0 ball game here.
It is great situational base running right there from Bussey. He reads that ball really well, gets a good jump there, and is able to take third on that errant throw, and that's kind of what was happening with Sam. They were trying to keep him over it when he was on base. They were trying to keep him over at first so that they couldn't steal. And with a throw like that, you have to worry about base running aggressiveness.
That pitch is low for Marcos Rosales. It's now 1-2 here as Rosales is looking to battle his way all the way back from an 0-2 count. Maloney still on the mound here for the Broncos. Gets his pitch by looking at his wristband. In there, swung on over to the right side of the field. The right fielder giving chase, makes the grab on the run, and that's going to do it here for the bottom half of the fourth inning. Marcos Rosales not able to drive Reggie Bussey in, but still some exciting stuff here in the bottom of the fourth. No runs come across as we go to the top of the fifth inning. It's 6-0 to your UNLV Hustlin Rebels. Back here with UNLV Hustlin' Rebels Baseball here on the UNLV Student Broadcasting YouTube account. We're now in the top of the fifth inning here. Reese Lewick still on the mound doing work for the Hustlin' Rebels. First batter heel faces Diego Pena, looking for his first base hit of the season, let alone the game. Reese Lewick been very efficient here in today's game. The first pitch to Pena. Off-speed pitch, just managing to clip that inside part of the zone quickly, makes it 0-1 here on Pena. And Ben, you'd like to imagine that, again, with all these breaks in between innings, Reese Lewick is just in prime position to really go the distance here for the Rebels.
Yeah, he's able to stay hot. There's not too much break in between innings. He's able to get back to work quickly, not able to settle down. And he's just able to continue that pace that he's been setting throughout this entire ballgame.
It's now 0-2 here on Pena. The pitch swung on, lifted high and foul behind the UNLV dugout side. We'll do it again at 0-2 here. This will be Lewick's second time going through this Broncos lineup as we get on our way here in the fifth. The 0-2 pitch swung on, lifted down the right field line. Nin Burns giving chase on it. He's able to make the grab on the run. Wow, what a set of wheels there from Burns in right field, tracking the ball all the way into his glove and recording the first out for the Hustlin' Rebels here in the fifth. And honestly, Ben, that's not even the first outstanding play we've seen from not only this UNLV outfield, but the Western Michigan outfield as well.
Yeah, there's just great presence being shown in the outfield right now. They kind of know where they are on the field. They know what it takes to be able to get those balls, and they're just pushing and hustling to get those balls.
We're now at the top of the order here for the Broncos as that pitch sails way behind the back of one hitter, Tanner Malley. Yeah, speaking of guys who have made some extraordinary plays, Tanner Malley is one of those guys that crops up on the list there, playing the center field spot for the Broncos tonight.
Yeah, he's been busy in center field. He's also been busy at the plate, reaching base both times in his 2 plate appearances.
He swings and fouls that one back. It'll be 1-1 here. Yeah, he's got 2 base hit, the first one being a single in the first and then a double in the third. As Lewick gets his pick. Comes set, off speed, hits Malley. That'll be the first hit by pitch recorded of the game, and it's almost like you could kind of sense that was coming, especially with the first pitch that Lewick threw to Malley. It was just way behind him. We haven't seen that kind of loss of control from Lewick in this game today, and immediately after, he hits Malley in the elbow.
Yeah, he just didn't have it in that at bat, and I'm hoping he can be able to kind of figure it out and get back to where he was before that at bat.
It'll now be Drew Howard stepping into the plate. First pitch, he says, in there for a strike. Quickly makes it 0-1 here. Lewick looking to get right back to the dirty work here.
Interesting outfield setup right here. You've got Burns playing over to the right. You've got Sanchez kind of playing in and just off to the right of center field.
As that pitch is lifted over towards left fielder, Jack Salmon watches it go over his head. He's going to throw it into his shortstop, Cooper Sheff. The runner coming from first is going to be held up. Malley not able to turn around third to try and score and get a run on the board, but instead it will be a Drew Howard double in this 5th inning. A little bit of action here from the Broncos offense. It's been a couple of innings since we've seen a base hit here for Western Michigan. Drew Howard looking to quickly flip the script here for his team. The new hitter now is going to be Michael Maloney. Michael Maloney looking to get on base for the first time in today's game. Reese Lewick, the pitch, finds that inner part of the zone for a strike. It'll be 0-1 here. Maloney has been in this situation before in today's game, 2 runners on. That first time again coming in the first inning where Malley and Howard both got base hit singles, but unfortunately he popped up to Johnny Rodriguez, the first baseman. That next pitch fouled off right to the backstop. Makes a couple of the Hustlin Rebel fans flinch here in the first couple of rows of the sections behind home plate. We'll do it at 0-2 here for Lewick.
Yeah, if you're Maloney right here, you're not looking, you might be down 6 runs. You're not looking to hit the home run. A sac fly will do the trick, kind of get that offense started and continue what the Broncos have done this inning.
0-2 pitch from Lewick. Almost got Maloney swinging on that one. Instead, he decides to hold back on that pitch and takes it for a ball. Now 1-2 here. Reese Lewick coming set yet again, taking a long look at that runner at third. Comes through his windup, the pitch swung on over towards the right side of the field. Ninburn's there to make the catch. The runner from third is tagging. The throw is not going to be in time, and it's a bit offline. Both runners will advance. Western Michigan get their first run on the board from the wheels of Malley coming in from third base. And Michael Maloney able to get a sacrificial fly out towards the right fielder, Nin Burns, who's basically he's recorded all the outs this inning so far.
Yeah, Burns has been really busy out there. He makes a really strong throw to Garcia to try to nab the runner at home. Unfortunately, Garcia unable to handle it. Had a chance the runner at third in Alley, but he's unable to pick that ball up and firing a good throw.
First pitch from Lewick to roll is in there for a strike. Now 0-1 here. Lewick just trying to get his team back into the dugout here. Definitely looking back at that hit by pitch on Malley, regretting it immensely, as that has now been the only run that's come across as that pitch is swung on down the first base side and foul. First base coach for the Western Michigan Broncos not able to make a play on it, and the dugout here on the left side is chirping him a little bit for it. We talked about in the Bradley series about, being a base coach. One of the things that, you got to be ready for is those ground balls. You have to field them as well. Your players want to make sure that everything you're telling them about fielding balls goes the same way for you. Got to practice what you preach. That pitch swung on and missed, just about misses the glove of Aiden Garcia for the strikeout.
Yeah, Garcia unable to handle that one. That would have been really big for this inning. Allow Lewick to just get out of this inning and start fresh with this next inning. But rolled, able to foul that back, and we'll see another one.
Yeah, the overall team camaraderie here. The Hustlin Rebels. Aiden Garcia kind of giving the hand over to Reese Lewick, letting him know, hey, that's my bad. I should have held on to that one, but let's get after him this next pitch. It's an 0-2-1. Here it is. Swung on and fouled off again. Rowell doing a great job there at the plate. Really good discipline from him this at-bat.
Yeah, he's just trying to extend this at bat. Maybe hope that Lewitt can make a mistake and drive in another run.
And what I like to call his little cheat sheet there on his wristband on the left wrist, right beside his glove. He does get his pitch, looks in. 0-2, not going to find the zone. Runner on third base, Drew Howard, itching to come across home plate there. Kind of his first opportunity for a ball to get by Aiden Garcia, but Aiden Garcia is basically a brick wall back there. You don't see a lot of balls getting past him. Lewitt comes set yet again. We'll do it here on 1-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on over towards the right side of the field. It's going to be in foul territory yet again. Johnny Rodriguez picks it up a couple feet right of that first base bag. And another foul ball battling his way here is Rowell.
And as you're saying about Aiden Garcia's presence behind the plate, pitchers are not afraid to throw in the dirt because they know that Garcia is going to block that ball and it's not going to get past him and allow a run to score.
We'll do it again at 1-2 here. Rowell looking to get on base for the first time in today's game. Here's the pitch from Lewitt. Swung on down the line and foul yet again. Big net there, or I should say fence there, stopping that going into the UNLV bullpen there, which, might I add, doesn't really have a whole lot of action in it. Head coach Stan Stolte and pitching coach O really trusting in their guy right here. It's 1-2 yet again. Here's the pitch. Swung on over to the right side, this time in fair territory. Johnny Rodriguez scoops it, successfully gets the PFP down with his pitcher, Lewitt, and that's how the top of the fifth is going to end. Western Michigan able to get one run across the board there. It's a 6-1 ball game. We'll head you into the bottom of the fifth inning. Back here with UNLV Hustlin Rebels Baseball here on the UNLV Student Broadcasting YouTube account. 6-1 ball game here as we've now passed the 1.5 hour mark on this game. And Ben, we're quickly going by here in the bottom of the fifth inning.
Yeah, Lewitt was really efficient in his 5 innings of work. And then the starting pitcher, Wizub, he was just kind of, throwing 79 miles an hour, but he was just pitching, not taking too much time in between pitches, and that kind of speeds up the pace of the game.
Aiden Garcia is going to be the first hitter to face Matt Maloney this inning. The pitch swung on, lifted high and deep down the right field line. It is gone! Aiden Garcia clears the yards, 335 feet down the right field line. 7-1 Rebels. Aiden Garcia stays hot.
Yeah, he saw Johnny Rodriguez hit a home run, and he said, I want to join in on that action, too. He gets a good pitch and just drills that to right field.
Maloney not going to be happy with the result of that first pitch here in the fifth inning. It's a bomb off the bat of Aiden Garcia, and honestly, Ben, the way that he's been playing, we were just kind of waiting for that one to happen, as now one of the coaches here for Western Michigan is going to step out and talk to his guy. But I mean, what a piece of hitting there from Aiden Garcia. I was just about to say he's desperately trying to get on base here for the first time, as he struck out his first time around, and in the third inning, he got that sacrificial RBI in order to score another run. And I'm thinking, Aiden Garcia, like in every game he's played so far, has already, done damage against this Western Michigan team. So you'd like to imagine he's going to try and get on base again. Not only does he do that, he touches all 4 bases in the span of one swing of the bat. And it's going to be a pitching change here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. It's now a 7-1 ball game here at Early Wilson Stadium. We'll be back once the pitcher's ready to go. Drew Berrigan going to be the first batter to face new pitcher Ty Tomlinson here for Western Michigan in the bottom of the 5th inning. UNLV Rebels already able to get a run on the board off the bat of Aiden Garcia on that last at-bat. The first pitch to Berrigan, swung on right back up the middle. First pitch single off of Ty Tomlinson. Drew Berrigan quickly turns back to his UNLV dugout doing the first base celly. And now there's a runner on here for Nin Burns II. Great back-to-back at-bats here for UNLV Hustlin Rebels, Ben.
Yeah, with Garcia's home run there, the rest of the lineup looking to be aggressive, get some more runs on the board, score some more insurance. And that's exactly what Berrigan does. He just first pitch swinging up the middle, and it's a good base hit.
We saw that from Maloney when he came in to relieve Wizub. As the first pitch to Burns, the new hitter, is going to be missing for a ball, now 1-0 here. I believe it was Maloney that started off his day with that 5-pitch walk. So you'd like to imagine that maybe these Western Michigan pitchers, it takes them a couple batters to really get settled in and adjusted. New ballpark, never really played here that much. As that pitch misses the outside part of the zone, it's now 2-0 here on Nin Burns. Burns has already walked in his performance today. That came in the 3rd inning, where he ended up coming all the way around to score for one of the 7 runs here. UNLV has a pitch swung on, fouled off down the right field line.
Yeah, good hack by Burns at the inside a little bit, trying to make something happen. And it's unfortunately a little too close to hands, and he just fouls that one off.
Yeah, the chance shot, especially at this point, in time in the night here in Las Vegas, as that 2-1 pitch high and inside for ball 3-1. It gets colder and colder as the night goes by, and we saw that against Bradley over the weekend, where they're seeing some temperatures of around 45 degrees, especially on that Friday and that Saturday game, where they just went on and on and on. The third pitch, not behind the zone, it's a walk from Burns, his second of the game, and the 7-run hitter for this UNLV lineup. Johnny Rodriguez is up to the plate here. Johnny Rodriguez with one of my favorite songs by Hustlin Rebels, definitely, I'm about something I hear often, and it's nostalgic for me. Love that Rodriguez. The first pitch to Rodriguez, on and strike one. and your fans, a lot of that, mariachi band of music you hear in Dodger Stadium, something that you can resonate with Rodriguez's song.
Seat and just kind of move your hips to it. Just going.
Salsa dancing press box. Pitch off speed in there for a strike at 77 miles an hour. 0-2 the count on Johnny Rodriguez. Feel as though that song would make a killing in a quinceañera environment. The 0-2 pitch to Rodriguez. Inside, ball 1. 1-2 here on Rodriguez. He's having himself a day. Did he have that? In the first, Broncos looking to check it out. He stepped close to the UNLV dugout before making the grab, courting the of the inning there. And that really just goes to show the kind of power that Johnny Rodriguez has. That ball, but man, was in there for quite a long time, man.
Yeah, jammed a little bit there. He's definitely trying to take that right field. He gets underneath his hair, and it pops it up to first.
It's on starting shortstop Cooper Schiff digging his heels in. The batter's box, TC off speed, finds the zone inside par 0 here. 78 miles an hour on the dart gun. Tomlinson, again, working with a lot of that off-speed stuff that we've seen so far in this game. Ooh, it looked like there was a bit of a pickoff attempt there at second base, but the pitcher, Tomlinson, maybe not getting the sign correctly. That's the second baseman for the Broncos, Drew Howard, who kind of crashed in on the bag just as Tomlinson started looking away from it.
Yeah, another very interesting infield shift here with 3 guys playing on that third base, between second and third base.
Yeah, I have to do with Chef. This is the second they've done against him. I, do believe making the note about them making the shift on him when he was last up. In his last at-bat, which he ended up flying out to the center fielder in that at-bat, and that was what ended up ending that 5-run scoring run for the Rebels. As that pitch misses low and outside for a ball, he evens it up at 2 apiece here. I'm trying to find the groove here. We've seen him, in these last 2 at-bats that he's had faced so far. We've seen him go up and then kind of lose it towards the end. This pitch finds the outside part of the zone. Cooper do it and starts walking to the dugout. Tomlinson's first strikeout recorded of the game is against Cooper Chef, and it'll bring up Jack Salmon to the batter's box here.
That's a good pitch right there from Tomlinson. Catches Chef off guard, who wasn't expecting that fastball. And Chef unable to do anything with it. Talking about how many off speeds we've seen this game, and you can't really blame
Chef for that kind of approach, expecting the off speed, but obviously when that comes, you have to expect the fastball even better. And oh my God, Drew Berrigan and the third baseman collide with one another, and Drew Berrigan surely is going to get a free base here because that's interference. The umpires aren't calling anything. Now they're being tagged out between halfway, third, and home. What is happening here at Early Wilson Stadium? The third baseman clearly got in the way of Drew Berrigan. Jack Salmon will record his base hit, but Drew Berrigan thought he was going to get that free base over towards home plate, and it's just not the case. Stan Stolte, the head coach for the Hustlin, it doesn't look like he's going to refuse or argue in any way. I really should rule there. It was base hit, and Drew Berrigan is tagged off from third to home. No rule there in the bottom of the 5th inning, and I guess we're going to the 6th, Ben, to 1 ball game. See,
I was in a comment, leave it into it. I'll be like, I'm surprised Stan's not trying to appeal there. Obviously, some interference there between the third baseman. And a run was just taken from us. Like, that's kind of weird. I don't know. First base coach.
Hey, Luke.
This was made nice for food at Smoking Sam's. Yeah.
What?
That play was just so stupid.
No, I know.
If he just kept running, they wouldn't even miss the run unless it's stopped.
Yeah.
He stopped his attempt, so the run.
That's so fucking dumb. So is that the ruling that because he attempted going to home?
Well, since he stopped his attempt,
Yeah.
they can't rule that he would have made it. So if he just hit the guy and then kept running, they wouldn't give it his home.
That's crazy.
Is this still Lewick?
Yeah. And the hitter is Paul Lubinsky, yeah. Alright. We're back in back here in the top half of the 6th inning. Been a pretty interesting play to end off the 5th inning. Drew Berrigan looked like he was around third and score for the 8th run of the game for the Rebels, but he met the third baseman for the Broncos, Mason Pilarski, and collide with him. It looked like swung on, drilled in the for base. Luke still on the mound. That's Paul Lubinsky recording a base hit for his second time after he got that 1-4. Now Bartender being the new batter. But going back last play of the 5th inning, I personally thought that Drew Bergen could be awarded the free bag colliding into the baseman, but maybe because of the attempt running third base, the umpires ruled that as well. You had an opportunity to score and chose to.
I'm surprised it stands a little ahead of my Drew.
Ostrander swings at the pitch, he lifts higher, and they check and caps it for out. But yeah, Ben, you and I were just sitting here stunned in the press box here, wondering, what we just saw, and feeling a little bit robbed here. Yeah, we're up by 6 runs, but never hurts to get another one, especially we're trying to get out of here as quickly as possible.
Yeah, every run counts. You want as much insurance in case Western Michigan can put some base hits together late in the game.
First pitch to the new hitter Pilarski is an off-speed pitch, finding the outside part of the zone for a strike. Now makes it 0-1. But yeah, I can definitely understand Drew Bergen's perspective there, kind of stopping halfway between third and home. At the first, hey, get them free. I mean, actually talked to me from advancing the ball because the Bergen had to know that he was at home, and the fact that he was third base and it's not really an interference call or anything. That's not like the third base is the free bag. We know he was going to get there. It's home plate. That should be the free one. The 1-1 pitch on Pilarski, a little dribbler back towards Luke, the pitcher. He snaps it, throw it, not going to be in time, and offline. Johnny Rodriguez not able to handle it. Being right around the Ninberg get the throw in, but it's going to be over Aiden Garcia. And now Pilarski winds up all the way at third base. Not what I wanted, and you can kind of sense this momentum quickly shifting the Broncos over here, Ben.
Burns made a good throw. He was able to place Garcia. Unfortunately, it gets past Garcia. Luke was in the right position to pull that ball kind of back played up.
It will have an error here on Brooks and on Brett too. So I mean, Reese Luick, there's some little difference. Throw it a little bit. I mean, as for the new hitter, Menix are 4 strike, make an own one here. Solarski, went away from them all the way third. Not only the error from Reese Luick, error from Nin Burns, which doesn't even say as Paul Lubinsky coming in from first, or excuse me, coming from second, wasn't rounding third in order to score. The 1-1 pitch swung and fouled.
Yeah, Luke is a good defensive pitcher, like really good defensive player to get that. The only one who can field it. Unfortunately, he didn't have enough time to kind of set up properly and throw the ball as first as possible. That's the reason for the throw that Johnny Rodriguez couldn't pick.
The 1-2 pitch here from Luick swung on, lifted high, and fouled again into the parking lots here of Early. Will do it again at 1-2. And even despite all the coolers on this, it really looks dialed in right now. Right, I can't really see anyone warming up you and open.
And Luke, 82 pitch right here, his efficiency has just been through the roof. He's allowed 7 hits by 2 runs to come score, and he's just been able to settle in when he gets.
Now you can kind of account those runners being on base just as much to West Michigan as you can to Reese. Like we did out at the beginning of the broadcast, that they over 400 on base last year, while only jumped 106. 1-2 lifted high there. Sixth. Menike not able to do the job there for the Broncos in order to try and sacrificially get the runner on third Pilarski in to score. And now it's going to be Diego Pena, the catcher, looking to get his first base hit of the game. But Western Michigan have had a huge problem leaving runners on base, as the first pitch is swung on and driven into left field. Jack Salmon fields it cleanly, and Diego Pena's got his first base hit of the season and for RBI to go with it, as Mason Pilarski calls home Mason 7-3.
Yeah, it's good by Pena. He hasn't done anything all season, kind of for the offense. But right there, he gets a good changeup on the first pitch, and he sees it and just gets it right through that left side of the infield.
It turns out there was more action in the bullpen than I originally suspected, as head coach Stan Stolte for the Hustlin Rebels is going to come out, shake the hand of Reese Luick for just a phenomenal performance in tonight's game.
Pitching change here at Early Wilson Stadium. Reese Luick's day is done. It's a 7-3 ball game here. A runner on first base. We'll see you once the pitch is all warmed up.
Now pitching for UNLV number 32, L.J. Manning.
I was going to say something before Pena came up to the plate, like he's due for something. He's got to get something going.
Yeah.
And then I was going to wait because I didn't want to rush you and then have to...
No, you're good. You're good.
That's a great start by Luke right there.
No, yeah, I mean phenomenal.
Unfortunately, he didn't go 6, so it's not a quality
Yeah,
start.
but
Did we see a lot of quality starts in college baseball?
yeah, oh yeah,
Okay. Because that's 6 innings, less than 3 runs, right? For a quality
yeah.
start. Okay.
Reese Luik's day is done after 6 2/3. He is being held responsible for Pena, the runner on first base, but it's going to be LJ Manning looking to work on that 20 ERA he's got so far this season. The first batter he's going to be facing is Tanner Malley, the one-hitter for the Broncos. First pitch finds the outer part of the zone for a strike. LJ Manning quickly getting to the business here in the 6th.
Yeah, Manning's had a rough go of it so far. He hasn't necessarily walked any batters, but he's hit 7 batters so far, and you don't want to see that from your relief pitcher.
Next pitch is going to be blooped into shallow right field. And then Burns able to collect it and throw it in before Pena gets any ideas about rounding second to go to third. It'll be back-to-back base hits for the Broncos here as Tanner Malley picks up his third base hit of the day. Drew Howard now the batter here for Western Michigan. LJ Manning is dealing with 2 outs here, so one pitch does get him out of this inning. A nice little ground ball to any of your infielders, possibly an easy fly out for your outfielders. The first pitch to Howard, inside and low for a ball, makes the count 1-0 here. And I mean, we talk about an easy fly out for the outfielder. It's not like they necessarily need one. They've been making these astonishing plays all game long. They did a job for Reese Luik. You'd like to imagine that this outfield rotation of Nin Burns, Jaden Sanchez, and Jack Salmon going right to left can do a job. That pitch swung on over to third base side. Drew Berrigan picks it up on a hop, and he throws it over to Johnny Rodriguez in time for the out. LJ Manning, only a few pitches here in the 6th inning, is able to get the job done for Reese Luik. Another run doesn't come across for him. It's a 7-3 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Bottom of the 6th inning here on the UNLV Student Broadcasting YouTube account. It will be the 9-hitter Jaden Sanchez leading things off here for your Hustlin Rebels here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ty Tomlinson finds himself back on the mound here for the Broncos after relieving Matt Maloney of his duties last inning. Gets his pitch against Sanchez. Sanchez shows bunts, gets it down. It's going to trickle into foul territory. But, I mean, you can see the speed there from Jaden Sanchez, quickly able to get down the first base side and hit that first base bag. But, unfortunately, just about rolls in foul territory. And Reggie Bussey going to be the guy to hand him his bat back, the person who's successfully put down a bunt in today's game so far.
Yeah, maybe he can get some advice from Bussey to get that bunt down. Sanchez makes a really good attempt at that bunt, just hits a little too hard and it's foul, but he's got great speed, and if he can get something fair, he'll be able to beat that out.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple of times with these right-handers laying down bunts for the Hustlin Rebels where, you know, we do kind of see it go one of two ways. It either goes straight out onto the grass as the 0-1 pitch to Jaden Sanchez is swung on, lifted high into right center field. Right fielder for the Broncos camping under it. Connor Ostrander able to make the grab for the first out. here in the bottom of the 6th inning. But again, those bunts, you either see them go straight out to the grass and just easily roll, or as soon as they hit the dirt, they immediately fade towards the left side of the field. But now it's going to be Reggie Bussey stepping up to the plate here. He's 1 for 2 on the day so far, had that walk in the 3rd inning, grounded out to the second baseman, but did get that successful bunt down in the 4th. Looking to try and not necessarily replicate that success, but definitely get something going for the Rebels here in the 6th. First pitch he sees from Tomlinson, way outside for a ball, quickly 1-0 here at the count.
Yeah, and after his bunt single with the error in that last at-bat, that third baseman, Pilarski, has now moved in a substantial amount to kind of compensate for that bunt.
That pitch finds the zone for a strike 1-1, and you're absolutely right, Ben. It's that mind game that baseball poses itself as, where Reggie Bussey gets that bunt down a couple innings ago, and now Western Michigan are definitely trying to react to that just in case it happens again. That pitch swung on and fouled. Big swing there from Reggie Bussey, but he finds himself in a hole here at 1-2.
Those are the kinds of mid-game adjustments that are crucial for you to win this ball game. Third baseman Pilarski, now with 2 strikes, actually moves back because Bussey's not in a position to bunt.
The pitcher Tomlinson gets his pitch through the windup. The 1-2, not going to find the part of the zone that he was looking for in that upper inside part on Bussey. He'll even the count here at 2-2. Great discipline here from Reggie Bussey trying to get this count to full.
Yeah, that pitch was just a little inside. I personally thought Macias, with the way he's been calling his pitches, was going to call that a strike because he waited so long.
That pitch lifted high in the air. Shortstop for the Broncos, waving everyone off and able to camp under it to make the grab. Michael Maloney doing a good job over there for the Broncos in the 6th spot, recording the 2nd out of the inning. Marcos Rosales is going to step up to the plate here for the Hustlin Rebels. It really is those kinds of at-bats where, just a pop fly to the infield that really kind of like sets the tone for where the momentum is. I feel like right about now in the game, it's not really swinging either way for either team. I mean, UNLV jumped out to a great lead, getting those 5 runs in the 3rd inning, moving their lead over to 6. Got that Aiden Garcia homer last inning to move it to 7. But as soon as Ty Tomlinson hit the mound, the Hustlin Rebels haven't been able to get an answer. That pitch finding the outer part of the zone for a strike. It's 1-1 here on Rosales.
Yeah, those first 2 pitchers that Western Michigan threw out against the Rebels were throwing a little bit slower stuff with not as much difference in between those pitches. And Ty Tomlinson is now he's throwing 87, he can throw 81, and then he can also fire it in there at 72, and has got great differential on the speeds.
It's a 2-1 count here now on Rosales. Here's the pitch from Tomlinson, outside again, now 3-1 here on Rosales. He's 1 for 3 on the day so far. He had that double with an RBI in the 3rd inning, but unfortunately no one on base for him this time around, so the only RBI he'll be able to get is if he sends one over the fence here. The 3-1 pitch to Rosales, swung on and fouled off. Draws the count to full here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Aiden Garcia looking on from the on-deck circle. He had an at-bat last inning, scorched it over the right field wall, getting this lead to what was 6 at the time. Broncos put up 2 of their own, and the top half of the inning, and Rosales looks at it, thought it was a ball, started running towards first base, but is called out by home plate umpire Jeffrey Macias. Rosales not happy with the call, giving a couple of words to the home plate umpire, but the home plate umpire staying his ground. He had that strike 3 called, and that's how the 6th inning is going to end. We'll see you in the 7th right after this.